everyone, and welcome to another ASMR video. As you can see, I got myself a webcam, so I'm going to be able to record a lot more of the videos I want to record. And yeah, I might try and do some role plays a little later when I have more time. But for right now, I'm going to do a sketching video with most likely some whispers involved as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Although I'm not really sure what I feel like drawing right now. When it comes to using a sketching pencil, I don't try and be very accurate with it. If I am actually trying to draw something with detail, I'll make a lot of rough sketch like this and then erase it and trace over the faded remnants. I'm also not used to drawing on a flat surface because I'm going to try and keep the paper straight because I'll usually twist my sketch pad around, and I'm usually laid back in my chair with my feet up and the pad against my legs, and I'll twist it in the air and hold it in really strange positions also I can get at a proper angle where my arm feels most comfortable doing either the straight line or the curve that I want to see. So, yeah. Kind of wish I made room for gills now. Maybe I can make it work. I'd say the biggest challenge when it comes to when I started sketching, like really sketching and wanting to try and be an artist, was I'm so used to wiping the eraser bits away with my hand, and that always really screwed up whatever sketch I was making, because it would brush all the graphite or whatever around the page. This always happens. I don't know if I have really low quality pencils or something, but I frequently have them broken up inside, so I have to sharpen them multiple times. That's why I have so many smaller pencils. I'm not really sure what I wanted red for. Actually, I am going to go back over these and just make them harder lines now that I have the general shape that I want. This line is pretty straight already, so I'm just gonna go over it again like that. Just to give it a more defined edge. And for the gills. Sketch this light blue. And then I'm going to try and maybe it'd be easier just to grab a darker blue. There we go. I'll finish this side first, and then just going to use the blue pencil, or the darker blue, to draw in some lines so that the gills underneath are just a bit more defined. Okay, hopefully this will work. Right. my one improvement to colored pencils would be try to make them easier to color over another thing. Because like with paints and stuff, with paint you can lay down a foundation, let it dry, and paint over. So you can set up your background and stuff, and then just go over it with the new color. But with colored pencils, they don't really want to interact at all. So that would be really cool if you wanted to blend something together, and just make it a lot easier if these colors could meld. Recently I've always been kind of creative, but recently I've been getting a lot more into any sort of artistic thing I could possibly do, that I can think of right now anyway. And so one of the things I've tried is animation, and I really enjoy it. But my issue with that is that so far I've only, because I only like to do hand-drawn animation. Some frames I will, or with some images I will, I'll use an easier technique to animate, but for the main scene and other things going on, I really prefer hand-drawn, and I can't. The only thing that I've found that I really enjoy using is Adobe Flash. And unfortunately it's kind of out of my budget for right now, so that kind of sucks. But I also just started using Blender for character modeling because I want to learn how to design video games and basically try and develop my own games on my own, because I like being artistic, so I like the designing aspects of games, but at the same time I also really enjoy the technical side of things as well. So I really enjoy coding. I already know a few programming languages, and they all kind of relate in a way. So if you know one, it's pretty easy to learn the others. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been focusing on a lot recently. And part of the reason I haven't uploaded a video to this channel in, I don't know how long it's been, like a week or so. One reason was because the webcam, I didn't really want to keep making audio-only videos with pictures I photoshopped or messed around with as the background. I wanted a visual aid because that is one of my favorite things about ASMR is visual. So I didn't really want to make another video. Plus I didn't really have another upload more mouth sounds and more layered videos and stuff like that. But I didn't want to just keep doing them. I wanted to produce a bit more variety. Yeah. But, and also my camera software was kind of wonky. When I first tried installing it, for some reason it crashed my computer. But fixed it, or found a solution, so that's all good. Maybe next video, I recently bought some clay, because I want to try and start clay modeling and eventually get a silicone mold maker and use clay models to make molds, because I saw a video on YouTube teaching you how to make your own custom candle molds. And I thought that was really cool, so I searched around for all the ingredients I needed, and I tried really hard to find stuff that I wanted to use to make a candle out of. I don't really have anything around my house that I would want to dip in silicone, or that would even make a decent mold out of. So, then I thought, why don't I just make my own stuff to make molds out of? And from there, clay modeling. So I thought it'd be fun to do that. And then that turned into, when I was looking up different types of clay and stuff, it turned into also wanting to make figures out of resin using the same silicone molds that I would use to make the candle. And that idea came from one of my favorite YouTubers, Commander Holly. If you don't know her, she's awesome. She is a cosplayer and wife to Rubber Ninja. She is one half of Crab Cat Industries with Jessica Marzipan. So she's pretty cool. She has a bunch of tutorials about how to make stuff on her channel, and making little resin figures out of clay and, resin and silicone molds was up on her channel. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah. I've spent, getting back to game development, I spent the last few days learning this program called Blender. And Blender is a pretty powerful and very in-depth 3D modeling software that's actually 100% free to use by anybody. And I've used things like AutoCAD before, but this one is really amazing. And if you find the right easy to remember and pretty easily to manipulate, and I mean, you really could make just about anything in that software, so that's really cool. I actually finished up, well, not finished, really. I got the basic structure and coloration down for the main character of my game. Yeah. The first game I want to make is, I have this idea that kind of spawned from me wanting to make a game about Calvin, like, based kind of loosely on Calvin and Hobbes, because Calvin and Hobbes was, like, my favorite comic when I was younger, and it really gave me inspiration for pretty much almost every aspect of my life, just the way of thinking and stuff like that, like how important imagination is and stuff. And so I wanted to make a game where the main character would, like, his imagination would affect the world. And while that was mulling around my head, I also thought of Alice in Wonderland, which is honestly probably my absolute favorite thing ever. And most of the love for it comes from the Disney film, not necessarily the book, although I did enjoy the book. I didn't enjoy Through the Looking Glass, that part of the book, because I had a really hard time following it. I remember that I kind of gave up reading it because with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, whatever, I don't remember if it was the same book or if it came in parts, but with Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, there was kind of a cohesive whole to it, kind of like the Disney movie. Like, it was really strange and didn't make a whole lot of sense, which is part of the reason I love it so much. But there was a somewhat cohesiveness to it, and definitely a sense of, like, progression, I guess. Like, you could tell, like, you could follow where the story was going, you know what I mean? But with Through the Looking Glass, it made no sense at all. Like, whatsoever, nothing connected to each other as far as I remember. I was reading it, and it would go from Alice being on a train, talking to some sort of creature, and then whenever the conversation had reached, like, its climax or something, after she had spoken with the creature for a certain amount of time, the scene would just shift, and it would then be her running through the forest with the Red Queen, and by Red Queen I mean a chess piece. So I think I made it through like 6 or 7 of those really wacky transitions before I was completely lost and I had no idea what was going on. So I set the book down, but yeah, the original story and Walt Disney's 1951 movie I love more than practically anything else in the world. I believe it's just the idea of creating a world where nothing but nonsense exists. And sure, I mean, Alice wanted to go home at the end, but I love the idea of that world where creativity can run wild and anything that you think could be possible So that was basically the basis for my game, and I didn't want to make it too complicated, but I also kind of wanted to make a 3D platformer, which we don't really have a lot of these days. Kind of similar to Banjo-Kazooie, or, I mean, Super Mario 64, but more Banjo-Kazooie, because Banjo-Kazooie had kind of streamlined it a bit more, I believe, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. It's not going to be very complex, it's not going to be very highly detailed. I basically want to make this game to teach myself about game design. And I just wanted to create a fun sort of adventure. And this is broken. Is it? No. Okay. Let's be paranoid. I just wanted to create something kind of similar to Kirby in the sense that I just want people to have a fun time. Like, I'm not pushing for high scores, or I want it to be challenging, but not like crazy challenging. You know? That's really what I'm pushing for. Is I just want it to be a fun, magical little adventure. You know, that pretty much everyone can enjoy, and hopefully a lot of people can appreciate. So yeah, I hope it goes well. I have a few more ideas for games as well. A bunch of different genres and styles that I want to explore. But I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, because I'm just now learning the basics of character modeling alone. There's still a lot of procedures I have to do. I'll probably be using the Unity engine to create my game, but eventually I'd like to be able to write my own game engine, if it's possible. But I still have to learn how to manipulate chiptune music, because I don't have instruments, and it's really just me working on this. Like, I don't really want people to help, because I want it to be something that you know, I can prove to myself that I can actually do it. You know? So I want to avoid trying to ask people to help me with it, because I want to be able to create it 100% on my own. And then also be able to continue to create and really find a love in creating these games, because that would be my dream, is to be able to work from home, just making all sorts of things. So hopefully everything continues to go well on that front, because I would really love to pursue this. I mean, I have a degree from a university already. I don't really want to pursue a higher education, because although I enjoy what my degree was for, I don't really want to do the work associated with it. My degree is in computer science, and I enjoy working with computers, but I don't want to have to work in an office. If anything, I would love to avoid working for another corporation ever, because it doesn't suit me, to be honest. It's not really what I enjoy about life. So yeah, here we go. Turn this around. A poisonous looking mushroom, which is apparently massive compared to all the flowers. Anyway, wow. This was a bit of a longer video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll probably be doing a lot more artistic videos like this, sketches, painting, clay modeling. Yeah. I was thinking about doing drawing on my computer, but I don't think it would be as relaxing because you don't get the sketch